This week on the Royal Media Podcast, we discuss relationships. All right, everyone, welcome back to the Royal Media Podcast. Here today with me is my good buddy and co-host, Garrett.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How have you been today?
I've been pretty good. I slept in.
Yeah.
I did sleep in. I did.
That's good.
It was good.
Oh, yeah, I bet, yeah. Because you don't get to sleep in much.
No, I do not.
Yeah.
I go to school full time.
Yeah, you go to school full-time in the summer and also work part-time.
And work part time.
So, yeah, that's... So if you guys have been wondering why we haven't been very active on the channel and all recently, it's because my co-host hasn't been available, and mainly because we've been taking the time out to do this podcast and to do a bunch of other things.
Yes.
But aside from that, the topic for today is relationships.
Yeah!
And we have some really funny stories. And the reason we decided to do this was really because our stories kind of intertwine.
They intertwine
A little bit.
a lot of it.
I would say a lot of it.
A lot of it.
Yeah, because
dude.
I have 3 stories and you have...
Two.
You have 2 stories. And
stories.
your last story intertwines with my last story.
Yes, it does.
So that's what makes it really funny. And for the sake of keeping the people of our relationships, you know...
In the dark, you could say.
Yeah, if that's what you want to call it. Their names will be kept private, and instead we'll just refer to them by their initials.
Or hair color.
Or hair color, whatever.
Something.
Yeah, something to identify them, yeah. So, without further ado, I think I'll start if you want me to.
Yeah, you should start it off. You got more
Okay.
stories than I do.
So,
Player.
yeah, really, honest. But, so my first relationship, I was young, early teenage, like 13, something like that.
Yeah.
And the girl that I dated, we dated for 2 years. She was really pretty, don't get me wrong. You know, kind of long brown hair, greenish blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But she was, you know, very white, pasty like myself.
Like a ghost.
Yeah, we were ghosts.
You're still a ghost.
Yeah. But it's okay. And like I said, we dated for 2 years. We were really young. There's really nothing like, you know, juicy in it or whatever.
It's just, hey, I dated.
It's just, hey, we dated for 2 years. Yeah, we were young. It was a very adolescent relationship. We went to a school dance once. I picked her up. I brought her flowers and stuff, and that was it.
I think I remember that. I think you told me. No,
I've probably told you before.
You probably have.
I mean, you know her.
Yeah, I know.
You know her, yeah.
She is nice.
She's nice, yeah. But yeah, like, so she moved away, and that's why we broke up. Because we're like, oh, what's the point? We're young, you know, whatever. Let's kind of live our lives a little.
And kind of that doesn't work long distance.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Which will bring me to my second story here in a few. But yeah, it was just like, well, what's the point, you know? And
Yeah.
so,
I mean, you're stupid kids.
exactly, right? Yeah. So there's no point in
It's
doing.
not real, you could say. It's
Exactly.
Like, you know, you'd be like, oh, I'm taking her out on a date. Where are you going? You can't drive.
Yeah, because like I said, we were like 12, 13,
Yeah.
dated for 2 years and all that. And so we keep in contact a little bit, kind of text here and there, but like nothing really crazy. We never saw each other or anything.
Right.
We just texted just every blue moon, so to speak. And so she ends up coming back.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. I remember she did
And
come
we
back.
have homeroom together.
That was fun.
It wasn't awkward though. That's the thing. It wasn't awkward. We talked for like a split second about getting back together, but we were like, yeah, no, let's not do that. Yeah.
Let's leave that in the past.
Yeah, and so we try to even be friends. Even that really doesn't work out the greatest.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, because it was just I don't know. It wasn't weird or awkward. It was just like like what's the point? And so she sits kind of across from me, but her back towards me in homeroom and all. And I acknowledge she's there. She acknowledges I am, and we just kind of
Hey.
yeah, that's really it. And she ends up kind of going up and, you know, moving up in the social hierarchy of school.
So she became one of them popular
She became
girls.
very popular, yeah. Whereas I stuck around
We
with
stuck-
you. I was stuck with you.
What you trying to say?
But and I hung around you and Jacob and everybody.
We had a good time, dude. We lived our best lives.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like I'm not complaining whatsoever.
No, it was great.
It
man.
was.
I loved it.
And so we get into high school and we just kind of acknowledge each other still. She became a party girl, dyed her hair blonde, started tanning more. So she's like complete opposite of what she used to look like.
And complete opposite of you.
Yeah.
You ain't no party animal.
I'm not a party guy. No, not at all. So yeah, that's really it. It's nothing much, but it's a fun little story, I guess, to tell.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really it.
That's fun.
And then, like I said, I'll see her on social media every now and then, and that's really it.
Yeah, that's where I
just like it is
like
what
Facebook, something.
Like Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat
that's
every
cool,
now.
hey.
Yeah, it's like, hey, that's cool,
Yeah.
and that's really it.
Yeah.
So what's your first story?
Oh,
I think I know it.
I think you do. I told you
Oh,
about
okay,
it,
yeah.
Let's see. When did it happen? It was a couple years ago. Because now I'm out of school. Well, high school.
High school, right? Yeah, we're graduating
We're
now.
college kids.
That's right.
That means ramen noodles every night.
Oh yeah.
So that's fun. Let's see. I think it was 10th grade. 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Met this girl in my class.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a, what do you call it? It's not an after school class, but it's a...
Extracurricular?
Yeah, what is it?
You're talking about the career center, right?
Yeah, career center.
Yeah.
What else do they call it? They call it something school. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what I know what you're talking about, yeah.
But anyway, it was like a career center. Like you could go there and you can try and find a career you could do or something.
Yeah, we went together.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
And we started. What'd you take? You took.
At first, I took graphic design, and then I went over to media broadcasting.
Yeah, which is like dealing with.
Which is what we're doing right now.
Which is like podcasts and radios.
Yeah, but then I came back to graphic design.
And I, being myself, back before everything went crazy in the world, I was going to be a cop. I was going to take law enforcement. And I did for 3 years. Mm-hmm. And I learned a lot, which was really cool because it kind of shows you the inside world of being a policeman, but not exactly being out there on the streets, getting shot up by people that are on drugs and stuff, like what we deal with here. Mm-hmm. But I met her in that class in the first year.
In the shooting up prevention class.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but how to stop a school shooter 101.
That's really what it was. Yeah,
actually what it is. If you want like the bottom line, it's what that is. It's stopping the school shooter. But it was we had 4 schools in our district. It was 2 districts. One was from the other district, and the 3 of us were in the same. So we would all like ride buses there, like school buses to get there. And we'd all, get off, and it was like first day of class, and I'm sitting down and I don't really have any friends in that class. And we're all just sitting there, and the teacher comes in, he introduces himself and, gives us the syllabus and, everything. And we kind of like talks amongst ourselves and everything. And we do that for about 2-3 weeks, before we start getting into the real stuff. And then it's about halfway through the first half of the year, me and her are talking, and we start, like, she gives me her number and I give her mine, and we just start talking and everything, and we're like, hey, let's go see a movie, and everything. And then, I'm like, oh, cool, this is gonna be like my first date, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna look spiffy and everything. I'm gonna look nice, and I'm like, so when are we gonna go see the movie? And she's like, nope, no movie. And like, she just straight up got into an actual relationship before we could even get into ours. I'm like,
oh, that's so lame.
I'm like, well, dang, dude.
Dang.
It's like, you want to be that famous person in the world. Bam!
Yeah, like shut down.
Gone. That dream's gone.
Dang, that sucks.
Dude, it was bad.
God.
And so I kind of, you remember I was kind of like...
Yeah. You're kind of down a little bit.
It's like, I wasn't depressed because I try not to do that. I try not to get depressed.
Right.
I like to keep myself up.
Right.
And, but I was a little down for about a month or two, something. And then, like school year ends and whatever. And then we come back and it's 10th grade now. So we're sophomore. No.
11th grade now.
We're juniors. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So we moved up in the world. We're about to rule the school, as I say. And she's in there again.
Right.
But So it's her ex-boyfriend that stole her quote unquote from me in 10th grade. So he's in there with us. So it's the three of us.
So it's kind of awkward.
It's very awkward. It's quite awkward. I walk in the classroom and I see her. I'm like, dang, what do I do?
Yeah, where do we go from here?
I'm like, yeah, really. And so, really, 11th grade just kind of blew by. Like, I'd talk to her a little bit. She'd talk to me. She wouldn't really say anything. And then senior year came around, 12th grade, and it's when like Stranger Things started coming out, and so that's when like everyone would like stop at break, right? Because we'd get like a 10-15 minute break, and we'd all talk about it, and so we'd all gather around. We'd talk about what happened in season 1 and everything, and everyone just like, oh no, don't spoil this, don't spoil that. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, like we all need to watch it, or something, and then so we started talking again. We started texting and stuff like that, and I'm like, yo, you want to go to prom? Yeah. And she's like, I don't know yet. I'm waiting on another guy to say what he wants.
Oh, I remember this now. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh dang, well, I'm stubborn at heart, as you know. I'm stubborn as a mule. Yeah. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna tough it out. I'm gonna be like, all right, if he doesn't ask you, I'll take you. Yeah. Problem. I can't drive.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because
at this time I can't drive.
Right. Yeah, because those who don't know, we got our licenses a lot later than we got them at 18 instead of like 16.
Yeah, because one, I don't like having to wait. I'm very impatient when it comes to stuff like that. That restricts my freedom. Right. Yeah. Two, I don't like jumping through hoops.
Yeah, and our school had a curse.
It does.
We have a wall where of all the people from the 1950s up until like last week,
pretty much
that have died in car wrecks because our school has such a curse.
It's bad.
It's literally like people die in car wrecks, at least 2 a year.
I think it was 10th grade. We had 4 people.
We had like 4 people die. Yeah, our 10th grade year we had like 4 people die in car wrecks.
And that was the year, like, because that was when we were starting to turn like 16 and 15.
Right, yeah. So that's when that was coming around. Yeah. So that was mainly the reason why.
You and me were like, let's like wait.
Yeah, and so we waited till we were 18 to get our license.
And I just went in and got it. Yeah. But at the time in the story that I'm saying right now, I did not have it. Right. And I don't even think I had a car. I don't even think I had my truck. Yeah. Or did I? No, I did have my truck.
But you're just waiting.
I recently bought it. Yeah, I was just waiting for the 6 months to roll by. Right. And so I'm like, like, what's up? Like, how are we gonna do this? And she's like, well, my friend and her boyfriend could pick us all up. We all ride, in his Jeep. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then she's like, so the other guy, a couple of like her ex-boyfriend and his friends, which I'm not exactly fans of. Like, we talk and we respect each other. Yeah, but it's not the guy I'm gonna be like, hey man, how you doing? On the other side of the store.
Yeah, I got you.
And so she kind of, alluded to them hanging out with us. I was like, cool. So is he gonna like pick us up? And this is like a week later. She's like, no. So I'm like, so no prom. She's like, no, I'm not gonna go. But I hadn't bought the tickets yet, so I saved my money.
Good, yeah.
So I didn't buy nothing.
That's good.
I was gonna wait, and so, that happened. I'm like, and I apologized to her. I'm like, I'm sorry, I like kind of led you on about like wanting to go to prom and everything, even though I can't drive at this time. She's like, no, that's fine.
No, I wouldn't say it's your fault. It's her fault. Like.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, no, like seriously, because she's the one that's always like, oh, this, that, and the other, whatever. And they're like, no, gonna go with somebody else. Like that's a jerk move. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. But
after that, we were cool. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna date right now. I'm done. I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. You know, that way I don't end up like
save your freedom.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Save my money.
Save your money. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, save the money.
If you get offended by that, don't, because it happens.
Yeah, I mean, really. No, smart. So.
Yeah, that's really my first story. Yeah. So
that's very sad.
Kind of is.
For a story like that.
I know, for a first story, it's like, dang, dude. Like, wow. It's like, we had like a good story at the beginning.
And then just boom,
Great Depression.
Done, yeah.
It's like, man, my dude got crushed.
Yeah, really.
But,
well, if you think that's sad, my second story. With me, my relationships, it gets worse and worse, my experiences. So my second relationship,
I remember this one. You give me details every day.
Garrett was heavily involved in this one. This is when Garrett and I were like really good friends.
We still are. You make it sound like
this was like when we first
we started hanging out.
This was my.
This was 10th grade too.
This was 10th and 11th grade, I believe.
No, I think it was just 10th.
Just 10th grade.
Just 10th.
Yeah, maybe it was just 10th grade. Yeah, this was our 10th grade year of high school.
This was happening. Well, mine was happening kinda. No.
A little bit.
It was a semester after.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mine happened first.
So
second.
I dated this girl for 6 months. Mm-hmm. It was a fun relationship. It was a lot of
This is a roller coaster, man.
Yeah, kinda. No, not even kinda. Like it was. It straight up was. Yeah. It really was. Yeah.
6 months.
So we met on the original Tinder, Hot or Not. You may not know.
You didn't tell what y'all met on Tinder?
No, Hot or Not.
Or Hot or Not, whatever.
It's the original Tinder.
So you met her.
But it was for teens. It was like you swipe left or right, and then you could text if you matched. Like that was it. That's all you could do. Whereas like Tinder, you have your location, pictures, all that kind of stuff. Hot or Not, you couldn't do that. You just text and be like, that's it,
Mm-hmm.
So we met on.
Dude, you never told me that part.
We met on there.
On that app.
Yeah, I know.
That's funny.
But we met on there. Freshman year is when we met on there, but she's a year younger than me. So
legalities.
so I would, like I said, freshman year for me, her 8th grade year. And
I didn't know this.
And so we just texted for a good while, like a better part of a year, I would say. And then we just kind of shared information about each other. Like she likes the same kind of music I do. We have kind of the same sense of humor, not real, but like we could converse, like we could talk very well. But she was really pretty. She had kind of long light brown hair, dark brown eyes, and a little shorter than me by a good little bit. And she was real smaller kind of girl. But she was fun and all, I'm not gonna lie. And the first time we ever met, we started dating in March.
Wait, where was she from?
She was from Greenville. She went to Wade Hampton High School.
Oh Lord.
Whereas we went to Wren High School. But we started talking for a good little while. And then in March of our 10th grade year, so that was what, 2016?
No, well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2016.
Early 2016.
Early 2016. Yeah, March of 2016, we start kind of dating and being like, hey, can I have feelings for you? Oh, okay, yeah. And so the first time we ever meet was at the Haywood Mall. Jacob was with me.
Oh my goodness.
What's bad is that he didn't know we were dating. Nobody really knew because at the time I just was not open about stuff like that. And she comes up to me, we hug, and we just hit it right off because of course we've been talking for like over a year, but that's the first time we ever actually met. We were in that FYE store. And Jacob was like looking at CDs or whatever, and I was standing off to the side, and she comes up to me. We'd been planning this, and I kind of used Jacob, because again, we didn't have our licenses. Me and Jacob had been planning to go there. Well, on the side, I was texting her and being like, hey, you want to meet up, at this date at the Haywood Mall? She's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, okay. So as me and Jacob were going there, I was texting her like, yeah, I'm on my way and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, dang.
So, yeah, I was smooth. I was smooth on that.
Smooth criminal, dude.
And we meet, we have a good time, we hang out on our own. I kind of leave Jacob behind. And I say, yeah, this is my friend from the Career Center, which is a complete lie.
He did not go to Career Center.
She did not go to Career Center, neither did Jacob. But that was just a way of like kind of getting around that we were dating. And we, hang out that day, and she leaves, and me and Jacob continue to hang out together. And for about 4 months, we continue to meet up randomly and hang out and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I didn't meet her, did I?
No, you never met her. The funny thing about that is, though,
she saw me though. She's seen me before.
Well, I was thinking about this last night when coming up with ideas for this episode. Garrett, whenever Garrett and I would be going to the Career Center, we'd be sitting next to each other on the buses, and I snapped a picture of him to her, and she goes, "Who's that?" I said, "That's my friend Pedro."
For those, I don't know, like, we don't have a video of us at the moment, but when you look at me, I am a very dark-skinned white person.
Yeah.
I look like I'm Hispanic.
Yeah, he could pull it off.
I could pull it off.
He could pull it
I've had
off.
people. You remember Brandon Soper?
I do.
He asked me in 9th grade, "Am I mixed?" I said, "Mixed with what?" He said, "Isn't your dad Mexican and your mom white?" I said, "No, no, they're not."
Yeah, we tricked her, my girlfriend at the time.
She still doesn't know.
Yeah, to this day, she still thinks Garrett's a Mexican named Pedro.
This joke is going on for 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, 4 months rolls around, and she tells me that her and I were just talking one night, and she tells me that she cheated on her former boyfriend with me.
Oh, snap.
And so I start thinking, well, what makes me believe that she probably wouldn't do that to me?
Right.
You know? So I'm thinking, okay. Because my thought process is that there's always somebody better than you.
Yeah.
That's just how the world works nowadays. I wish it wasn't like that, but it is.
I know.
There's always somebody better than you. And it's wrong, but that's just how it is. And so I started thinking like, oh, okay. Well, I don't know really how to take that. But I just told her, I'm like, I mean, it's whatever, but, you know, I don't know. You know, we're going on 4 months, you know, whatever.
Ain't going to ruin it while you're ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So 5 months rolls around.
Yeah.
And I start getting a little suspicious of some of her activities. So 6 months rolls around. And her and I are talking. I remember it clearly. It was one Saturday. Her and I are texting. And just, bam, out of nowhere, stops talking to me. For like 6 hours.
Oh, dang.
Like 5-6 hours. Doesn't get back with me until kind of later that evening. Like around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, and tells me that she was out with one of her friends who was one of her former friends with benefits.
Ah.
And I was like, yeah, that's not cool. And me being who I am, I get jealous, but not on like a crazy level, but also because of her and some other events, I guess you could say, I have trust issues.
Yes, you do.
Because of crap like that.
Yeah.
I can still to this day I cannot prove that she ever cheated on me. But holy crap, if that's not suspicious, like I don't know what is. And so all the facts just kind of start adding up. Like you're just ignoring
the pieces of the puzzle start connecting. Really
exactly. Like it starts to get to where all of these things start happening a little too often, and I start getting just extremely suspicious.
Yeah.
And so the next time we hang out, we're at the Haywood Mall again. And we're in the Forever 21 store. And, you know, we're walking around. She's looking for a dress, whatever. And I was, quote unquote, going to buy her one. Yeah, needless to say, I didn't buy her one.
No, you ain't going to buy her
one. I didn't buy her that. No, because and then I start laying out the facts to her. I start, well, like, look, you know, this is what's happening, you know, this, that, and the other. Why you cheating on me, ho? And she's like, oh, like she never really came up with like an actual defense. And I said, yeah, okay, whatever. I broke up with her right there in the Forever 21 store. Her sister had to come pick her up.
You just walked out the store and left her.
I just walked out,
dude,
because I don't play around with that crap.
No.
I don't play. If you cheat on me, that's final. Like I don't play with that. And she texted me a little bit later and kept trying to, you know, work it out or whatever. Like, no, you've betrayed my trust on a level that
that's kind of hard to come back from.
Exactly, yeah. So I don't, yeah. Right. So I was done. Have not talked to her since.
And she still believes I am a Mexican named Pedro.
Yeah, that's right. But I don't follow her on any social media. I blocked her on Snapchat. She blocked me on Facebook like 3 months into us dating. Don't know why. That's another one of the suspicious activities. So
dang, dude, she could have been cheating on you way before you got suspicious.
Exactly. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah. So that's another reason. So yeah, that was a little.
That should have been a little red flag for you, to be honest with you.
It was, but like I didn't think anything about it. So I just
because stupid high school kids.
Yeah, because I was like 16, 17 at the time, so I didn't care. But yeah, that's my second story, and it only gets worse from there.
Oh.
So what's
well, why don't you tell yours first? Because yours started before mine did. Because yours would lead into mine.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'll tell my third and final story. So what happened was, after that relationship with the cheater, it was just turning into our sophomore year. I said, I'm not going to date, for a while, just kind of leave it at that. And so senior year rolls around, and I say to myself, I talked to maybe a girl or two, but never really fully went. Yeah,
it's like you flirted with them, but you ain't gonna be like,
kind of,
let's get together.
Exactly right. And so senior year rolls around, and I say to myself, I am not gonna date anymore until I find the special one.
Until you find the girl.
Exactly, yeah, because I'm not dating for sport. I think that's gross.
That's strange.
Yeah, and
it's kind of weird.
And I don't really understand why people just date just to have somebody. It's dumb, and I'm not like that, and I chose not to be like that. So the next person I date, I'm going to have intentions of marrying. And so from the in August of our senior year, I was praying this prayer. God, send me the one. Essentially, is what it was, and then. Nothing really happens, and then later, I think you know what I'm about to get at.
I think I know.
Later on in senior year, I joined the drama club, and just to help with I was the musical director of the production of The Great Gatsby, and I help with that, and then I meet the leading lady, essentially, the girl that played Daisy. And she was pretty, long brown hair, brown eyes. We got along great. Both like music. I can make her laugh. She can make me laugh. And that's what part of my prayer that I was getting at and all. And I started kind of thinking, well, could this be it?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I did like her. I did, but I never had that. Like pulling
the heartstring.
I didn't have that pulling in my chest towards her and all.
Right.
And so we talked for about a month. I was really kind of pressured into it because our teacher said like, "Oh, I think you guys would be good," this kind of stuff and all. So
I remember her. She
was strange. Yeah,
she was strange.
and so I said, "Okay, I'll
all right, whatever.
I'll do it." Yeah, and I go and I'm committed. I'm loyal. All this for about a month. We go on 2 dates, and then after I meet her parents and her whole family.
You met the whole.
I met the whole bunch. Yeah.
Might as well went to the family reunion, dude.
Yeah, essentially. And I'm like, we're not even like dating. Like I was just talking to her, and I kept thinking, well, maybe this is it. Well, maybe if I keep going, I can develop feelings. Well, the hard feelings never came. And she asked me, where we go from this, and I said, well, to be honest, I'm going to be going to college. Meeting new people, and then you're going to be going to college the next year and meeting new people and all. And I said, I don't want to waste your time and all that kind of stuff. And she was understanding about that, but I do think I hurt her, and because I feel like she wants nothing to do with me now.
She don't like you, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't lose sleep over it, but I'll think about it sometimes. It does kind of bother me just a little bit.
Right, knowing that you kind of
knowing that I kind of hurt. Yeah, exactly, because that's not like me. But I think it was better to do that than just lead her on. Because she had like genuine feelings for me, whereas I really didn't. But I thought I could make myself, because I thought that this was, the one that I'd been praying for. Yeah, but it wasn't. So we end after we graduated high school.
I did not like
her. Yeah, I know you did not like her. You did not like her at all.
I did not. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the way she talked, the way she laughed. That probably could have been one. But I mean, I wasn't like nasty toward her. Like, I wasn't mean. I was respectful. I was, hey, I'm his best friend.
Yeah.
Like, how you doing? And I'd see her in the hallways, every now and then.
Yeah.
But she never said nothing to me.
Right.
She
yeah.
never talked to me.
Yeah, and thinking about it, I do hate what I did to her, but I mean, like, I didn't know.
I mean, it's better than getting let on.
Yeah, exactly. It's better to be let down like that than to be let on, I feel like. And so, like I said, we graduate high school.
Which was amazing.
I don't ever really talk to her anymore. But
you don't.
But that just adds to the story that's about to happen.
Yes.
This is where it gets
meaty.
Yeah, this is where the juicy contents come in. So I'm in college. And classes hadn't even started yet. It's freshman weekend there. Like, it's just all of us freshmen there. And I'm with my roommate Dalton. Love that guy. Great guy.
No homo.
No homo, yeah. But he's a great dude. Love the guy. And him and I sign up for the intramural volleyball tournament. And we get put in this group chat of all these other girls.
Oh.
There's 6 people on the team. We're the only 2 guys.
So there's 4 girls.
Yes. And so we're in the tournament and we make to the second round and then we just get demolished. Just absolutely destroyed. And so we go over and sit over to where these kind of like these brick structures were. And we just hang out there with all of them. And then these 2 other girls come up. They were roommates. I didn't know them, but they knew everybody else at the time. And me and Dalton were really just honestly just sitting there. And this really hot blonde girl comes up, and her roommate, which is this brown-haired, curly-haired girl, and she was really pretty too. And I said to myself, okay, the blonde girl is a hoe, and the dark-haired, curly-haired girl is a bit of a you-know-what. That was my impression.
That was your thinking.
And so that night, we go to cookout, all of us. But Dalton doesn't go with me. And so I'm sitting next to that dark, curly-haired girl.
Yeah.
Dark-haired, curly-haired girl. And she wasn't like what I thought she was at all. She was really nice. We hit it off very well. We talk, whatever. We exchange Snapchats and phone numbers.
Yeah.
And then,
you get the basics down.
Right, yeah. But still, I wasn't, really...
You weren't intending on anything.
No, I was not really that interested in her at all.
Right.
And we were sitting at the end, and I'm not really paying attention to her. I'm paying attention to everybody else and everything else that was going on. And then she sends me a friend request on Facebook that night. I'm like, oh, yay, cool. I'll accept it. And then me and Dalton are trying to remember everybody's names and faces because we met a lot of people. That was like our second day at school.
Yeah.
So the next day, we all go hiking. Me, Dalton, the dark-haired, curly-haired girl. I'm just going to say the curly-haired girl. And the hot blonde hoe. and another one of our friends who is not really friends of ours anymore. Just cuz.
Excommunicated.
She was excommunicated for sure, yeah.
From the church.
From society, I wish.
Pretty much. Oh, dang.
But we all go hiking. And the 3 of them go up there while me and the curly-haired girl stay back a little bit. We talk. We both like The Walking Dead. We both love SpongeBob. We both like classic country music.
Yeah.
Even classic rock. And we have the same kind of dark sense of humor.
We all got the dark sense of humor.
And yeah, and we hit it off very, very well. And this is in August. Then classes start, and then it gets to about middle of September. Well, the curly-haired girl and my roommate kind of start fiddle farting a little bit.
Fiddle farting. That's a funny word.
And that she's texting me at like 12 o'clock in the morning being like, Austin, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like him and all this. I'm like, well, then tell him, quit doing this to yourself, kind of. And then they end it, and they get back, and then they end it again, and then that was final.
That was it.
And this just went on for like 2 weeks, yeah. And we don't really talk about that anymore.
No.
And so it's about beginning of October. And keep in mind, I have still kept praying the prayer, God, send me the one.
Right.
I kept praying that and did not stop.
Question, are you praying that now? Still? Or have you kind of slacked back on it?
I've gotten to where I can start praying that again now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
But I'll get to that later. And so, like I said, I kept praying that prayer, and some signs were being thrown at me. And some people had started talking and asked me, saying, like, hey, Austin, do you like, her? And I said, I haven't really given much thought about it, but this is, the beginning of October. Really, I'm thinking, holy crap, I really like this girl, and I chased her around like a puppy.
Ooh.
I did, yeah.
It
was, yeah. And so I said, God, give me an opportunity, give me
a chance to ask her out.
Yeah, give me a sign, slap me in the face, because I'm stubborn. You can give me all the signs in the world, but if you don't slap me in the face, then I'm just going to not really pay attention.
This is true.
And so she said, her and I were down in the game room where the pool tables and all are. And she says, well, Dalton and I were going to go to, of all places, Cracker Barrel, which is like her favorite restaurant. But we never did and all. And I thought, opportunity.
Bam, right there.
And so I said, well, if I wasn't going home this weekend, I would take you. And she goes, well, if you asked me, I would. And I'm like, oh crap, I've never been through this before. I started freaking out. I'm like, well, I'm coming back on Sunday and I could take you then. She's like, okay, yeah. And I'm like, holy crap, that worked. I'm like, I've never done that before. Like, I've never put the moves. It's always been like, hey, I like you too. Okay.
It's like that little middle school kind of feeling.
Yeah, that's how it's always kind of been. And so I'd never had to make the moves or anything like that. And I said, okay, well then, yeah, let's do that. And then we started talking later, and she said, well, is this considered a date? I said, well, if you want to consider it, yeah. And she goes, okay, yeah, let's make it a date. I said, all right, cool. And so we go that Sunday. I come back home. I come back from being at home, and we go on our date. And it was great. Best first date I've ever had.
Yeah.
We laughed. We had a great time. We prayed over our meal together and everything. It was great. And we played checkers there at Cracker Barrel because that's what you can do.
That's what you do at
and
Cracker Barrel.
That's what we bonded over pool and checkers. And so we played that there, and I, of course, I let her win because I wanted to date her. So and
no, man, you should have destroyed her on that game.
after we started dating, I beat her every single time.
Okay, good.
But there at the beginning, of course, I let her and all. And
right.
I go up, I pay for a meal, we come back we go back to campus, and we take a couple, pictures together or whatever. And it was great. And then so she texts me later and it's like, so are we like official now or something? And I said, well, the semi-formal is next weekend.
Yeah.
How about we just talk? Like transition, because keep in mind, we were also really good friends. Like we were great friends up to this moment.
Right, yeah.
And so I said, well, to transition from being good friends to
boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, I think we should kind of talk a little, kind of
get the lay of the land.
Yeah, exactly. And she goes, okay, yeah. And I said, we'll make it official the night of the semi-formal dance. How about that? And she goes, okay, yeah. So, we talk for about a week or so. I get the tickets for the semi-formal dance. We go there. I wear that navy blazer of mine with my khaki pants, and she wears this really pretty blue jumpsuit. And she looked really pretty in it. And we have a great time. I mean, it was really genuine fun.
Yeah.
And so that's the first time I've really ever been able to truly let my hair down and not really care. Because, like, I used to be kind of stuck up and, like, real pretentious kind of.
A little bit, yeah.
And, yeah, I did. And
you were, dude. You're kind of a brat.
And I'll be nice to the curly-haired girl. I mean, she kind of brought me out of that. She really did. And so that night, we go to Walmart and hang out and, mess around at Walmart. And then we go to Bald Rock, which is a little park up where we live, or up at campus where we go to college. And it's like 12 o'clock at night at this point. And we come back to campus, and then I ask her, or no, she says, so you going to ask me? And I'm like, you want to be my girlfriend?
You did not.
I kind of freaked out a little bit. She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And then we hugged, and then we went back to our residence halls, which are they weren't. You
want to be my girlfriend?
That's kind of how it was like. But it wasn't like that. It was a bit more. It was more
professional.
It was more professional. It was a bit easier because we were such good friends. It was easy to transition into that. And so we go back to our residence halls, which were non-co-ed.
Right.
And we date for 3 months. The best relationship I have ever been in.
I know, you told me. Many times.
We go on these long car rides together at night. We go on mini dates. Well, I say mini dates.
Hiking trips.
A couple hiking trips. We went to the movies a few times. But it was really good. Again, like I said, best relationship I've ever been in.
Yeah.
And so Christmas break happens.
Yeah.
It's a month that we're kind of apart from each other, but like it wasn't bad because like we text almost every day. We even FaceTime a couple times, and we were planning to do a whole bunch of stuff. Literally the week before we go back, we're planning to do like a whole bunch of stuff. Like just one time we planned on going up to Tennessee, up to Sevierville, where Dolly Parton was from.
Oh wow. Up near Pigeon Forge and
kind of, yeah, and just some places like that. And so we come back. I come back a day before she does, and I mean things are fine. I settle in and everything, and then she comes back, and I just feel something kind of off, like something's just not right. just some kind of like weird energy,
like
kind
a
of
shift in the wind a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. It's super weird, and she didn't really like act different, but you could just feel that there was something there.
There's something off about it.
Yeah, and so I went with her and another friend of ours to go and check in with her because, like I said, I was already done with that. And we come back, everything's fine. Then the next day, it was like, yeah, something's weird, something's not right.
Right.
And so this was on a Wednesday, and it was the first day of classes of the semester. And then I kept saying to myself, tomorrow, Thursday, I'm gonna talk to her because something's weird. Something is weird now, yeah. And that day was like okay, but it was still just weird Wednesday, and we didn't even really see each other or talk to each other a lot that day. And just the whole day, again, it was just weird, the whole feeling and everything. And so later that night, I felt like something was about to happen. I just had that weird feeling. But we hung out, I think, a little bit that evening, and it was fine. And then we ended up kind of just going one way and then another. Like, she went downstairs, and then I stayed upstairs in the dining hall with another one of our friends. And I was talking to her, and I was saying, I'm kind of scared right now because I think it's about to end. And I'm not gonna lie, I did start crying a little bit. Because I'm a sensitive guy.
You're a sensitive guy.
I am. I'm a sensitive guy. And I got like really shaken and really scared. And then we all left. We met up with the curly-haired girl. And 3 or 4 of us were all walking down. And then as the other 2 went into the residence hall where the curly-haired girl stayed in as well, the curly-haired girl pulled me aside and was like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm like,
it's about to go down.
I didn't really know what was going to happen, but I kind of...
something was going to happen.
Something bad, yeah.
Something bad.
And so she says, I don't really think it's, working out anymore and all. And I'm like, yep, that's what I figured was going to happen. But of course, that's what in my mind, what I was thinking. And she went through all the reasons. She said because this semester is going to be really hard for her, and she needs to focus on herself before she can focus on somebody else.
Which, that's kind of understandable.
That's completely understandable.
That's your studies, man.
It's your studies and it's yourself. Take time to yourself, always, no matter what. Don't let anybody else do something for you. Like, you see what I'm trying to say? It's like work on yourself.
Prioritize yourself.
Yourself, yeah. Because
preserve your mental health.
Exactly, yeah. Focus on yourself, yeah. Always. And so I understood... And it made sense, and I'm like, I'm going to respect that. And I told her, I said, the door's open, for whenever if ever in the future, you want to try again and all. She's like, yeah, and all that. And so, we shed a tear or two maybe, and then we laughed a little, and then we hugged, and then we went back to our residence halls. And I was fighting myself so hard, that little 10-second walk from up where I was in front of her residence hall all the way down to my dorm. I walk into my dorm, I flip on the light switch, my roommate's not there, the door shuts, I collapse.
Dang.
I collapse on the floor, and I just start bawling my eyes out. I mean, I'm crying, I'm...
Snotting everywhere.
Snot is everywhere, tears are everywhere. I mean, the floodgate had been opened, and I was just about wailing. Even like I had never really felt a pain like that, because it was just, I know it was only 3 months, but the circumstances that surrounded that,
it's like first good 3 months, like you start really, really good, you go to Christmas break, come back, bam,
and it was like, it was like a light had been flipped for her, like a switch. She just flipped and was like, okay, I don't like him anymore, kind of.
Yeah.
That's even how I took it. And that whole after it was about 5 minutes, I was on the ground just sobbing. I threw up.
Oh my goodness! You didn't tell me that part.
Yeah, I threw up, and then I came back out, and then I cried for about I'd say about 2 hours sitting in my chair. Went through a whole box of tissues. Then I went and took a shower for an hour. And I kind of just kept pinching myself, literally being like, this isn't happening. Oh, but no, it's happening.
This is very real.
This is very real, yeah. And I just like it just, I was in such pain.
Yeah.
Emotional and a little physical, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got out of the shower after an hour. I went back and I cried a little more. So my roommate Dalton comes back, and he came back from the basketball game, and he was like, "Yo, bro, that basketball game, man, it was, yo, dude, you good?" And I'm like,
"Yo, man, you depressed."
Yeah, like he could tell that something was wrong. And I said, we just broke up. And he goes, I mean, it was a shock. Because everybody that knew us knew, of course, that we were together. We were inseparable.
Right.
And it was, I mean, he was just kind of thrown off a little bit. He goes, "Oh, man, I'm sorry. You want to talk about it?" And I go, "No, I'm another time." And I get up. This is like midnight. I get up and I go around to my bed and I sleep for maybe 2 hours that whole night, non-consecutively. So like 30 minutes here, 15 here, 45 there,
10, yeah.
Yeah, just randomly.
Not a good sleep. Just a little.
No, it was just like random naps.
Right.
It was just random naps. And so the next day was the hardest.
Yeah.
For me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to come to face with reality that this is the first time in 3 months that I'm going to be single and without... Because this was the first person I've ever really loved, like really had deep, strong feelings for. And so that day was a little rough. But the thing is, we had lunch together that day. Mm-hmm. And we had dinner that night. And ever since then, really, we were closer as good best friends after the fact than we were really even together. But it's just when you're with somebody like that and you're so close to, especially just literally right out of being in a relationship with that person, I mean, it's still hard. Mm-hmm. I'm just now being able to talk about it perfectly fine and everything.
Without bawling your eyes out.
Without bawling my eyes out, yeah. I've only been this way since about middle of June. And it's July 11th right now as we're talking about this.
Really?
Yeah, middle of June is when I really got... Because I got over her in about March. Mm-hmm. So it's about 2 months after.
Yeah. Because I remember you'd come home and we'd, hang out and we'd play online. And you didn't sound the same when you came back. Like that week after y'all broke up, you came back and we got into a voice party and you would talk. I'm like, what's wrong with you, boy?
Yeah, well, that weekend, her and I were planning on doing something, but, and
that got cut.
And that got cut, yeah. And so, and I didn't eat for 3 days.
Yeah.
3 days straight. I was nauseated, and so I wasn't hungry, but I needed to eat, but that's what fueled my nauseation. So it was like just like an endless circle.
Yeah.
And I remember that weekend I came home and I just hung out with Jacob.
Yeah.
And we went to Chick-fil-A at the Anderson Mall. And I told him, I said, "This is the first time I've eaten in 3 days." And he didn't believe me at first, but...
He came around.
It wasn't long after I said that.
Right.
I did. And I remember I texted him and you about it and everything. But...
and I want to interject.
I know what you're going to say.
I was a little blunt, but it's because I've never really been that depressed.
Right. And the thing is... Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. Whenever I said that her reasons for breaking up was she had to focus on herself and all that kind of stuff, that's bullcrap. She never liked your next story. That girl told me the truth.
Yeah,
curly-haired girl never liked me to begin with, and after
she did that because she felt sorry for you. And
after we broke up, she was relieved. Curly-haired girl. And I mean that hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Yeah.
And I didn't confront her about it, but we were talking that next weekend or that Sunday or whatever, and she's like, how are you doing about it? And I'm like, I mean, I'm not,
over it.
Great, but I'm doing well. That was a lie. I haven't been doing well since June, yeah.
You've been sick.
And so I told her what I knew. I said, well, they told me this and that, and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, you weren't supposed to know that."
It's like, really?
I'm like, really? So it really was the truth. And I said, well, I do, but it's fine. It is what it is, so to speak. Even though it really wasn't fine.
No, it was.
And then we talked about it about a month or so later, and we were joking about it, and I brought that back up. She goes, "Oh no, that's not true." And I'm like, okay, so somebody's lying. Either you were lying before, or she's lying altogether, and you just, I don't know, but somebody's lying.
And I'm just there.
Yeah, you were just there. But somebody's lying if you say that that's not true, because you, one, admitted to it, so all that. And she didn't really have much to say after that.
Right.
But because we hung out literally every single day.
Yeah.
And even, then some. I can't really express to you the pain that I was in.
Right.
Because I'm there with what I thought was the one,
right.
done deal.
Yeah.
And even to find out that she never liked me to begin with, I mean, I'm in excruciating pain every time I'm around her. Up until mid-June, middle of last month. I'm, like I said, just now being able to talk about it, being perfectly fine. I got over her in about March, but I got over... No. I take that back. No, switch that around. I got over the breakup...
In March,
but I didn't get over her until
last month.
Middle of June, yeah. And she's not coming back to college, and even though I'm over it, it still kind of hurts because she is still my best friend,
Right.
And one of my best friends, yeah, and that it does kind of hurt me a little bit. And the fact that I'll probably never see her again, I mean, that...
It's a little tough.
That's,
yeah. A little tough to let that go.
That kind of hurts, yeah. But... I just kind of have to think about it like, well, even though I can still text her whenever, and we can just have a conversation about whatever, about anything all the time, I kind of have to have the mindset that she's nothing but a memory now.
Right. She's not important to you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's not important to me anymore. I don't really, it's not that I really feel this way, it's that the mindset I have to have in order to really pick up the pieces and go on.
Right.
That I have to think about her like she literally is no more.
Right.
Like I have to think like I'm never going to talk to her again, and I'm never going to see her again, and all that. But really, that's not true. But again, to have that mindset, that's what gets you out of the gutter.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I haven't really talked to her in a little while. It's been a couple weeks.
Does she still talk to you like it never happened, or?
Yeah.
Does she bring it up?
Well,
sometimes?
Actually, the last time we talked, we were talking about when we all first met, and she, the night that we went to cookout and all, she goes, "Yeah, after that, you got a crush on me, LOL." And I said, "You have no room to talk. You did to me too." But before I could send that, she sent back, "Yeah, and I got one on you, LOL." And I'm like, "Oh, I hate you so much." like somebody's lying. Either she really, no, I don't believe, to be honest, I don't really know what I believe. I don't really believe that she did, but then again, I do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm torn at what to believe on that. But regardless, like I said, I have to have the mindset that she's a memory and that's all she is to me. But knowing goodwill, she is one of my best friends, and that I would, and still to this day, I would do anything for her. I'd give the shirt off my back to see her succeed in life. I would, to this day. I do still love her, but in in a different way. In a different way. Yeah. In a mutual respect for her as a human being. And all that. So, yeah. But I'll admit, yeah, it was. Woo.
I know.
God, I hope you or anybody listening never goes through half of the pain that I did, because it was excruciating. And
you're not good with pain.
I'm not good with.
I'm not
good with pain,
no
physical
pain
or emotional. No, I have absolutely zero pain tolerance. So that, I mean, it was tough. I mean, for a good week after we broke up, it was twice a day I was crying my eyes out.
Was that in class or out of class?
I would make sure that I was in my dorm. Well, what's bad is that we had a class together.
Oof.
She sat right next to me.
Oof.
And so that was a little tough. I'm not gonna lie.
But you did not look that direction.
Oh, I couldn't stop looking in that direction.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
But that's the thing. When you're really in love like that, you can't really relate unless you are. Right. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So
and that's why I was a little back to what I was saying.
Well, the thing is that you knew that we were breaking up before I did. And that's what's going to lead into your story.
Last story.
Right now. Tell us about that story.
Well, it was let's see, when did
we had already broken up.
Right. Do you want me to start from the beginning of me, or just where you left off? How do you...
Of you.
So the very beginning of
the very beginning of you with that, yeah.
So, let's see, when did this... It was back... let's see, because we did that one feature film, that little thing that we were gonna do.
Oh, so maybe we hadn't broken up yet.
And it was back in November. When
Yeah, that's right.
When we started that film, and I remember people did not like that film. Like they.
Yeah,
really
even we didn't really.
I mean,
so that's why
I liked it.
That's why we scrapped it. Yeah.
We'll go back one day.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, so we made the trailer for that movie, and you showed it to your friends at school, and all of them saw it, and they were giving their opinion, like, oh, this, some were like, oh, it'll do good, and some,
yeah, right, mixed reviews.
And then the brown-eyed girl, she was friends with curly hair girl.
That's right.
And she was like, who's that?
Yeah, talking about you.
Yeah. And you were like, oh, that's my best friend Garrett. He went to high school with me. We've been friends for 6-7 years.
About 7, yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, like, he don't look bad, or, something along those lines something. And you gave her my Snapchat.
I gave her your Snapchat, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember it was at nighttime.
Yep.
And I think it was a weekend, or maybe it was late at night. And I was just on my phone, just minding my own business, and it shows like so and so has sent you a friend request, or has become friends with you. I'm like, oh, okay, who's this? And I text you. I'm like, did you send someone like my Snapchat or something?
Yep.
You're like, yeah, this is one of my friends up at college, and she saw the trailer and she wanted to know who you were. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm me. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Really. And I text her on Snapchat, and like I said, I've never been in a real relationship, quote unquote, like you. But I was like, dude, what do I do? What do I tell her? I'm like, I'm such a nerd, really.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. And I don't know if I told you this, but I was relying on you to tell me what to tell her, and I was relying on my sister to tell me what to tell her.
I don't know about your sister. I knew it was me, but I didn't know about your sister.
And actually, it was my dad and my mom, too.
Oh, gosh, dude.
There was a whole family ordeal, man. We were all in there. We all had the boots up to our knees, man. We were getting down. And, you would tell me, like, say, hey, I'm Austin's friend, or, from high school, and Kristen would tell me something, I don't remember what. And, she started messaging me, and we started talking a little bit. And this is, like I said, back in November.
Yeah.
And we kind of, like, don't talk for a while. And then, out of the blue, I think, it was like a week or so later, she sent me her number. And so we just started text messaging. And we would talk, like, pretty regularly, like almost every day.
Yeah. And while, say, y'all weren't talking, I was kind of, I don't know what you would call it, but I was telling her about you and everything, and like
you're like kind of pushing.
Yeah. Well, not really pushing. Well, I mean, really though. Yeah.
You know what
I guess you could say that though. Yeah. But yeah, I was kind of like, go for it. Yeah, a little bit. That, and like telling her how you were like and all that kind of stuff. So.
And we never. Well, this is late November, and we're still talking, and then Christmas break rolls around, and we talk a little bit about Christmas and everything, just ask like what we got and everything, and then school starts back up, and during school I'd get up at like 6 a.m. for my classes to start, because they'd start at like 8 o'clock, and
you commute.
And I do commute. I commute a long way. Yeah. I go 40 miles a day.
Yeah.
Back and forth. And I'd text her whenever I'd get there. I'd be like, hey, like like a good morning text, really. Like just, hey, how you doing? Yeah. Good morning. And she'd text me back like an hour or so later, I guess whenever she woke up or something. And she, we'd just talk every morning and everything. And then she'd go on to her class, I'd go on to mine. And then February rolls around, and this is when you and
curly hair girl
are breaking up. And this
we had already broken up.
Oh, okay.
We broke up January 9th. No, January 12th. No, January 9th. We got together October 12th. That's right. I still remember.
You probably should, to be honest with you.
It's whatever.
And so, it's January, and this is the night before y'all break up.
Yep.
And brown-eyed girl texts me.
Mm-hmm.
In like the middle of the night. I'm like, okay, what's up? You know? And she's like, Austin and curly hair girl. Yeah. She's like, they're breaking up. I'm like, what? Like, because I'm completely thrown off because y'all seemed very happy.
Oh, yeah. I was, yeah.
Yeah. And she, yeah, I knew you were. I knew you really were. Mm-hmm. And she was like, yeah, they're breaking up. I'm like, okay. Like, that's kind of weird because he hasn't texted me yet about it. Because I would, me being one of my best friends, I'm like, kind of like number one.
Oh, yeah,
between me and Sprague that you text. Oh, yeah. I'm like, that's weird. Normally he texts me before anybody else.
And out of both of y'all, I did text you first, and then immediately after I text Sprague.
Yeah. And she said that, they broke up, like, like just now. And I was like, okay, I'll sleep on that, just, what do I think about it and everything. I mean, granted, it's really not anything for me to think of. I'm just like, dang, he broke up. And then you text me that morning when I'm at school. You're like, hey, man. I'm like, hey, what's going on? You're like, me and curly hair girl, we broke up. I was like, oh, dang, and this is the part. It's kind of funny
because she texted you like that evening, kind of before it happened.
Before it actually happened.
Yeah, that's what pisses me off.
Yeah,
is that it was pre-planned.
It was
yeah.
And what's bad is that you didn't figure it out before I did.
Yeah, that's not cool.
And so you text me that morning, and I'm like, oh crap, I know exactly what's gonna happen. I know exactly what he's gonna tell me. And you're like, we broke up. I'm like, oh dang, and I was a little blunt about it.
You're kind of like, oh well.
I mean,
but the thing is, though, you already knew, so like,
yeah. So I mean, I really can't.
So you weren't thrown off.
React. My reaction came the night before.
Exactly.
And so I'm like, oh dang, well, good luck, walk it off. I mean, I didn't say walk it off.
Right.
You're
just like, oh man, I hate that for you.
Yeah.
Like that was it.
And I really didn't know how to comfort that.
Right.
I don't know, but and then that happened, and then I think you asked me, did you already know? Or something.
Because the way you were kind of acting about it and all, I asked you. I'm like,
you're like, did you already know? I'm
like,
no,
I know what it was. The brown-eyed girl had said something, and it kind of threw me off. And I'm like,
that's right.
What? I don't remember the exact wording that she said, but she just said something that kind of threw me off. So I asked you. I said, did you already know? And you're like, what if I told you yes? I'm like, oh, you... And like, I got so mad.
I was like, I'm going to plead the fifth because I can't do
That's right, yeah, that's what you said. You said, I'm going to plead the fifth, yeah. And this was like 2 days later.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, so I knew way before you knew, and way before you knew I knew before you. If that that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're like, did you know about this? I'm like,
I plead the fifth.
Like, what if I say, yeah, I do? And like you...
Really though, I wouldn't have been mad at you.
I mean...
No, but I mean, you didn't know that. You didn't know that.
Yeah. And so, you're like, are you serious right now? I'm like, yeah, like I knew like last night. He's like, you're like, what? So we broke up like today or...
Yeah, we broke up. It was like 7 o'clock that night. You knew at like...
5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, how'd you knew? And I'm... Or no. I was like, brown-eyed girl. She told me,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like trying to remove myself from this situation because I'm stuck in the middle between everyone's crosshairs. I'm going to get everybody mad. So I'm avoiding it. Really trying to.
Avoiding it like the plague.
But it's still coming back to me.
Yeah.
So I can't do much. So I'm like, brown-eyed girl, she told me about everything. And then you got pretty mad.
I did.
You did.
I got very mad.
You got very mad. And
I don't get mad often, but when I do,
but when you do, you are.
I blow up.
You're very mad when you are.
Oh yeah, because like I said, I don't get mad often. Hardly ever do I really get mad, but when I do,
it's bad.
Oh yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah.
And
I'm a very mild person.
yeah.
But you push that wrong button and
there it is.
Yeah.
And you kind of distance yourself just a little bit, just to like kind of get the full, because I done spilled my beans.
Right, yeah.
I'd spilled my beans, and then you started interrogating brown-eyed girl.
I did.
And she was like, I knew about it because me and her were talking about it last night.
Yeah, she went downstairs and told her whole little group of friends, our entire group of friends, that she was going to break up with me.
Before me,
yep.
And that's...
I knew because she was asking her roommate, the hot blonde hoe. She was talking to her about it. She's like, oh, what do I say and all? And anything further than that, I don't know.
Pretty much.
I don't know anything else further than that, but yeah. But I knew she was talking to everybody else about it.
And
which is not cool.
No, not cool.
Because nobody else's business but ours.
That's right.
And she'll agree with me, but yet she made it everybody else's business.
Right.
I'm going to stop now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I'm going to...
Save yourself.
I'm going to... Yeah,
save yourself. And so you started asking them questions, and then she spilled her beans about everything because her and curly hair girl started talking about it the day before.
Yep.
I knew.
Yep.
Which is like a day and a half before y'all broke up.
Right.
And so they started talking about it, and then she told you, like what she said, like she wasn't feeling it anymore. You know, like
I told you what she had told me before I found out the real reasons.
Like she just didn't feel a connection with you, or you know, and that's really all there is to that part, really. And then you told me that she like really didn't like me.
Yeah, and then y'all have like a little conversation about that or something afterwards.
Yeah, we did. She kind of told me like she didn't have those feelings, I guess you could say,
right,
for me anymore, or if at all, really, to begin with. And so I'm like, okay, you know, whatever, you know, water under the bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get.
So you were disappointed, though.
I was a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie, I was.
Oh yeah, our relationship stories are really funny because of course our last ones coincide with each other, but
yes,
now you get to see the drama that unfolds in our daily lives.
Yeah.
It's funny though, when school lets out though, we're so much more at ease.
Yes.
With everything. That's the funny thing.
Well, when you're out of school.
When I'm out of school, yeah. But that's it. That's the show for today, guys. Yay! Hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun.
There are a lot of rabbit holes, I'll tell you that.
There's a lot of interesting details. This is probably the most in detail we'll ever go about anything.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
But I like telling these stories because it gives people an insight into our lives, which I like. I like doing. I don't know why, but it's just cool. I like talking about myself, you know. So
yes, yes, you do like talking about yourself like so much. It's a little sickening. It's like
I'm not narcissistic at all.
Okay. More of a sociopath.
But yeah, that's the show, guys. Hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see y'all next week.